Okay, big news. The engine is no longer misfiring. Replacing that injector seemed to do the trick. So it's still idling high from a cold start right now. But it does seem to be running better. We'll only know for sure once I'm able to actually drive it to know how well the engine is running. But it seems to be good for the most part. Yeah, it definitely revs up way quicker and smoother than before. So hopefully it is running like it's supposed to now. Okay, so I'm doing the locker install right now. Here's all the parts on the bench. Already got the carrier and ring gear taken out of the case. You can see the pinion gear there in the bottom. So yeah, there's the caps that go over the side gear sort of axle shaft bearing. So yeah, so I'm in the middle of actually putting the locker in right now. So I got part of it already in there. These parts that have to go in that hold the pins and springs, which I'll put in a second. But so that's coming together well, and that's almost done. So after that, I can put that differential back in and then put the axles back in. Okay, last step is to just check the backlash of the ring and pinion with a dial indicator. So I have this set up so that the indicator ball is touching the gear, and then it's lined up nicely so that the motion of that indicator is in line with that ring gear. So so let's see. So right now I know that it is touching the ring gear because 0 or bottom of the needle would be where it's in the resting position. So right now it's like between 4 and 5. So if I take this ring gear and rock it back and forth, it goes from about, yeah, so like 5-ish to like 12, 13. So that's about, 7 or 8 thousandths of backlash, which I believe is just about perfect for this Land Cruiser 9.5 inch. So I think the spec on this one is 6 to 8 thousandths. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. And I do have the bolts at least, snugged up with a wrench. They're not fully torqued to spec, but they're snugged enough that the preload is, not going to change anymore after I fully torque these bolts. So that way the reading that I get right here, the backlash, is going to be the same. And I will check it again after I fully torque these bolts, but at least I know that this is accurate on the backlash that I'm going to get when it's all ready to go in the vehicle. So that is it for actually installing the locker, and then next step is just to put it in the axle housing. Okay, little update for the FJ62. So, I can't remember how much I shared in the last video, but the automatic transmission is being replaced. It was slipping, and I think it's because I tried to drive it with not enough fluid in it, but those automatic transmissions in these things, they kind of suck. So, exploring options, I thought about trying to get another automatic. I got this one a couple months ago. It's out of an 80 series, and I didn't realize until after I got it that it doesn't fit in the 62 series. So I got it for free though. So fast forward to now, I finally decided that I want to just swap it to a manual. So after looking around, I got in contact with someone who had one, Jim of TLC Performance in Lancaster, Ohio. So he sold me his old 4-speed, and so I've got some parts on the way from cruiserparts.net. I've got some parts that he gave me that I'll use to swap it, and now we get started doing the swap. So I'll try to document that a little bit with videos going forward, and I'm excited. So this thing is, so I decided that I'm going to put 37s on it. Those are 35s right now. Obviously those are worn out and need replaced anyway. So you know, now that I'm going with a manual transmission, which has a little bit lower gearing than the automatic that comes with it, and the manual trans also doesn't have as much parasitic loss as the automatic does. So it's a little more power freed up, lower gearing. I think it can handle 37s even with the stock 411 axles. So that's my plan. I hope it works. So I think it'll be good for the street. Obviously for off-roading, that's going to be a different story. So I think I'm going to put a different low range gear in the transfer case, maybe a 3-to-1, and that'll definitely help it off-road better, especially with those big tires and the stock ring and pinion. So yeah, that's my plan, to kind of do a cheap setup to get 37s without having to re-gear. So first step though, obviously, to get the transmission put in. So that's next. I got it in the back, the 4Runner right over there. I'm getting it out right now. So yeah, I'm excited for this swap.